Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Today on Milanese Math, we're going to be talking about place values. And as always, if you want to follow along with the worksheet that we're using, it'll be the first link in the description below. So I want to draw your attention to the left-hand side of your paper or the screen, the decimal place value chart. This sort of gives us a way to describe big numbers, small numbers, whatever, based on the position of the digits within that number. So let me just give you an example, and I think this will help. For numbers 1 through 10, it says to use the number 214,835.69. So for just illustration purposes here, let me go ahead and fill in that number in the correct position. So 214,835.69. Okay. And then what the place value system gives us is a way to describe the position of the numbers. So for example, if I look at the number that's in the ones position, that's a 5. The number that's in the tens position, that's a 3. And a hundreds position, that's an 8. And thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s is as big as this number goes. But there's names for all the other places like millions, 10 millions, 100 millions, billions, and it just keeps going. And then as we move to the right of the decimal, we have 6 is in the tenths place, and then in the hundredths place is a 9. And again, it would go on from there. I do always point out two things. Number one, the names on the decimal side have a THS on the end. So it's really important to pay attention to that because there's a huge difference between the tens place and the tenths place. And then also it's important to remember that there is no oneths place. Like you want to kind of look at that as like mirroring on both sides of the decimal, but there is no oneths place, so just don't get that mistaken. So there's two main things that they'll ask you to do with this type of a question. The first is just identifying which number is in which position. So for example, number 1, so you're trying to find what number is in the tens place. Well, since I've already kind of filled this out, I know that it is this number right here, which is a 3. There's nothing to it other than that. You're just kind of looking and matching which one is in which place. Okay, so number 2 says which number is in the hundredths place. Well, that would be this one over here. I noticed it had the THS, so it's one of the decimal numbers, and that would be a 9. Okay, how about in the ones place? Well, that is a 5. And in the 10,000s place, that is a 1. And in the tenths place, that's a 6. Okay, so that's literally just a matter of matching up the number with the position that it's in. But you can also get questions like numbers 6 through 10 that ask what the value of the number is that's in that position. And this is where the place value is so important. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Number 6, it says, what is the value of the 5? Well, if I look up here at the number where I filled it in, it's just in the ones position. So a 5 in the ones position just represents 5. So his value is just 5. But if you look at number 7, it says, what is the value of the 8? Well, look up here. That's an 8, but it lives in the hundreds place. So his value is actually 800. Okay, because it's like 8 groups of 100. Okay, what about the 9? That's all the way down there in the hundredths place. So it is a 9, but his value is 0.09 or 9/100ths because he's in the hundredths place. Okay, and then how about number 9? It says, what is the value of the 1? Well, that's all the way in the 10,000 place. So a 1 in that position is actually worth or has a value of 10,000. And then finally, number 10 is the 6, and that since that's in the tenths place, it would be 6/10, or that's what its value would be. So there's two different questions they can ask you. First of all, just identifying what number is in each position, but then they also might ask you the value of that number. So those are two things that you need to keep track of when you're talking about the place value system. So hopefully this video was helpful. If it was, consider subscribing to the channel. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.